Hey, E37 in the building. In the valley. Now ready. You ready? King. Come take a ride with me, take a walk with me. I'm in the dark side of head. I know what's going on.
Yahweh is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down and green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He giveth me in the
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praise and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. All praise and glory. Happy Feast of Dedication for those that are observing the Feast of Dedication in this hour. We know that there's brothers and sisters that keep it various different times. Some started yesterday, some starting today, some starting in the next week or so. But we all are acknowledging the feast and season. All right. So all praise and glory to the Most High. We was doing the War Ready Wednesday special edition Sunday, going into the Star of David or Shield of David. And we was not able to complete that. But we'll be completing that that debate probably in the next week or so. But all praise and glory to the Most High. What I'm going to do is go over the history of Hanukkah before, Alexander the Great, during the time of Alexander the Great, which was prophesied to come into power in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter and the 8th chapter, right? And there's history concerning who Alexander the Great as well as in the Apocrypha. All right, well, I'm joint is jacked up. So we're going to read the book of Maccabees. We're going to go into maybe like the first chapter because we're going to be reading in the Josephus, right? We're going to read the Josephus, right, concerning the Maccabees, about Alexander the Great coming into power, which led up to his death and then led up to Antiochus that raised war on Judah, Benjamin, and Levi during the Greek Empire, which was known as the Hellenistic period, right? So I'm gonna try to do my best to go over this topic You see what I'm saying? Which is a feast day or memorial and celebration of the victory that the Most High gave us against all the heathens during this period. You see what I'm saying? So around this time is they call it the so-called season to be jolly, right? You got the Christmas vibration, heavy, and as Hebrew Israelites, we do not acknowledge these pagan false days that's set up in this country. And we have days like Hanukkah, which is an 8-day celebration, versus 1 day, which they celebrate in Christmas. All right. So Shalom, Malak, Judas, Shalom, Sister Star, Shemakaya, Aliza, Shoshana, Mabanath, Sister Mina J. Shalom, shalom, all praise and glory to you, brothers and sisters, and the family, the house of Maharakar. Shalom to Andrina, Eliyahu, and Pamela Williams, brother Streeter L. I'm going to go through some things. Maybe y'all heard before, maybe you didn't heard before. All right? So we're going to go into the book of Josephus, okay? All right? So if you don't have a book of Josephus, what you can do is go to BibleStudyTools.com and you can get the online Josephus, right? So you will go into how to get to where I'm at, first of all. Let me show you how to get to where I'm at. You will go to, let me make sure I get this thing right. You will go to the Antiquities of the Jews. You will go down to, I think it's book 12. Book 12. Book 12. Matter of fact, I think it's book 11. Book 11, chapter 8. Antiquities of the Jews. Book 11, chapter 8, concerning Sanballat, Manasseh, and the temple which they built. If I could share the link, I'll share the link so y'all can follow me in the reading. Right, I'll put it in the Facebook Messenger. Let me see if I can put it in the YouTube joint as well. And that song that was pumping was Dark Lit. My new single to my album, Dark Lit, Ecclesiastes 7:20 for all the righteous rules. You see what I'm saying? It's not a just man on earth that doeth good and sinneth not. You know what I'm saying? We all are a work in progress, you know what I'm saying? And we all should be righteous in the kingdom. Isaiah the 60th chapter, right? So before I go, we got to read Colossians the 3rd chapter and 17th verse, of course, in the New Testament, Colossians 3:17. Let's get it. Let's get it. Colossians 3:17. Continue to work. Continue to fight. Never quit. You can't quit on a Mashiach. Hebrews the 6th chapter. It's a Reynolds rap. Every knee shall bow before Mashiach Yahushua, give account. All right. So Colossians the 3rd chapter and the 17th verse, it reads, and whatsoever ye do in word or deed, so whatever coming out of your mouth, whatever action you're doing, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Allahayim wa Abanawa Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Right? So in the name is by Hashem. The Lord is out of one, Hamashiach Yahushua, given is Nathan, the water, thanks, La Allahayim, which is God, Wah-ha, and the Abanawa Yahweh, which is the Father, by him, which is by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So whatsoever we do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, Nathan, the water, La Allahayim, Wah-ha, Abanawa, by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Right? And of course, I got to read Luke 14. Luke 14 and 6. Right? Luke 14 and 6. I'm going off John. I don't know why I keep doing that. John 14 and 6. Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua, right? So let me get St. John 7:38. St. John 7:38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living waters. And that rivers of living water is in fact the Holy Spirit. St. John 6:63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. All right. So if you're trying to receive, the kingdom of the Most High, all right, and be a friend of the Most High, then we need to apply and take heed to his laws, statutes, commandments, right? And the testimonies written, right? Because this is our salvation. It has always been our salvation. This is our way to get back plugged into the Most High, okay? To regain our customs and our culture and our society and our way of life and our government. You see what I'm saying? And get out of this Babylonian mentality, right? So that's it on that. I'm going to read one more verse, Isaiah 8:20. Isaiah 8:20. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. All right, so Mashiach Yahushua is not rocking with you. He's not rolling with you solo. You don't. You see what I'm saying? All right. So I give all praise and glory and thanks to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushua for sustaining me all these years. You know what I'm saying? My ups and downs and my trials and errors in this walk. Fire on the left, water on the right, or fire on the right, water on the left. It's a narrow gate, straight path. You see what I'm saying? And just trying to endure. That's it. All right. So all praise and glory. So now we're going to get down into some history. We're going to go into the Josephus, Flavius Josephus, which was a Hebrew Israelite, okay, that wrote a lot about the history of Yasha'Allah, okay. We can read a little about him if nobody know who this guy is. So let's get a little reference of this guy, just in case anybody don't know. Okay, so Flavius Josephus, let's see what it says about Flavius Josephus. Titus Flavius Josephus, born Yosef ben Mattayahu, was a first century Romanian Jewish scholar, historian, and hagiographer. I don't know if I said that right, who was born in Jerusalem, part of Rome, and then part of the Roman Judea, to a father of priestly descent and a mother who claimed royal ancestry. So he actually was a Levite. Okay, you see what I'm saying? He wrote down and gave a lot of. Matter of fact, let me first read it. He initially fought against the Romans during the first Jewish-Roman wars as head of the Jewish forces in Galilee, until surrendering in 67 CE to Roman forces led by Vespasian. Okay, after the 6-year siege, Josephus claimed the Jewish messianic prophecies that initiated the first Roman Jewish wars reference, and you know that we was conquered in 70 AD. So he was around all this period to see the fall of Israel. All right. Okay, so you can look up Flavius Josephus. You can purchase his book. All right, I got it on Kindle. I got a hard copy. I just don't have it with me. It's in Miami. It's being shipped to me. So that's just a little, you can look up Flavius Josephus. Just order the book. All right. So we're gonna read Antiquities of the Jews, chapter 11, book 11, chapter 8. All right. So it reads. About this time, it was that Philip, king of Macedon, was treacherously assaulted and slain at Egon by Pausanias, the son of Serestes, who was derived from the family of Orestes, and his Oreste, and his son Alexander succeeded him in the kingdom. Right? So now when you read the book of Maccabees, that's written in the King James 1611 Bible, right? 1611 King James Bible. It's written here, right? You have the book of Maccabees in various books, or 14 books that was taken out of the original King James 1611 Bible. Why? Because number one, prophecy. Number two, history. Okay? Same history we learned in school, right? About the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, the Persian and Medes, the Syrian Empire. All these different things are recorded in the Bible, right? So when we read the first book in Maccabees, First Maccabees chapter 1 and 1, check it out. It says, and it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, we just read, the Macedonian, who came out the land of Chittim, and smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he ran in his steed the first over Greece. So we're going to come back to this powerful statement, okay, as we're reading right here in this opening sentence about Philip, the king of Macedon, and how he was murdered, and then Alexander succeeded him, right? So let's finish. Who passing over the Hellespont overcame the generals of Darius' army in a battle fought at Granicum. So he marched over Lydia and subdued Ionia and overran Caria and fell upon the palaces of Pamphylia, as has been related elsewhere. All right. So when you're reading the book of Daniel, right, or you're reading the book of Isaiah, or you read about how the southern kingdom went into Babylon, and then the Persian and Mede Empire came into existence and came into power. When you're reading like the book of Esdras, it's going to the Persian and Mede Empire, right? So Darius actually was the last king to be ruling over that dynasty, right? And you can read about Darius in the book of Job. In the book of Daniel is going off, okay? You can read about this king in the book of Daniel. Daniel is a prophetic book concerning this various kingdoms that was prophesied to come into existence, right? In these last days, like Daniel's 6th chapter, it mentions it pleased Darius to set over the kingdom and 120 princes which should be over the whole kingdoms. So you read about Darius in that 6th chapter. You read about Darius in the 7th chapter, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of the Babylonian. Well, in the 6th chapter, already mentioned Darius. Darius. All right. So I gotta warm up. I'm choppy, but I'll get through it. All right, some way, somehow. All right. Shalom. No, yes, we're gonna have a part 2. Me and Jay to it. We're trying to get that done today, but we didn't get a response to the brothers, and out here at STL, the brothers is open up Hanukkah tonight, so they may have to do it again to complete it Sunday, but I'm not sure yet. All right, so hopefully we can get it done, because it was about to turn up that debate, man. You see what I'm saying? So all praise and glory to the Most High. Let's see if we can get that done. I took the day off for that thing, man. So it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? We opening Hanukkah this evening, so all praise and glory to the Most High for that. All right. So back to the Josephus. It says, who passing over the Hellespont overcame the generals of Darius' army in a battle fought at Granicum. So he marched over Lydia and subdued Ionia and overran Caria and fell upon the palace of Pamphylia, as had been related elsewhere. All right. So remember, I just tagged y'all a link so y'all can follow. Part 2. But the elders of Jerusalem, being very uneasy that the brother of Jaddua, the high priest, right, though married to a foreigner, right, should be a partner with him in the high priesthood, quarreled with him, for they esteemed this man's marriage a step to such as should be desirous of transgression about the marriage of strange wives, and that this would be the beginning of a mutual society with foreigners, although the offenses of some about marriages and they're having married wives that were not of their own country. See that? So now, when you go into Esdras or you go into Nehemiah, it speaks about the priests during this particular time, during the Persian and Medo Empire, taking strange women for wives. So with everything is being mentioned in order. Okay? It's being mentioned in order, right? So I mean, I could get the scriptures, but y'all should already know that. I shouldn't have to assume that. But if you go into Nehemiah, right? Let me see if I can go to Nehemiah right quick. All right. I think it's Nehemiah 13th chapter, and Esdras going to the priest. And the priesthood and the rules on the priests, when you read Leviticus, the 21st chapter, and when you read Ezekiel, the 45th chapter, it's particular that the priests marry women of their own tribes. Okay? Right? So you read Nehemiah 13 and verse 22. It says, and I command the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Shabbat day, remembering me, O Yahweh, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. Well, it's verse 23 where we're supposed to start. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon and Moab, and their children spoke half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. Okay, and I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by Yahweh, saying, you should not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons or yourselves. And it says, did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations were no king like him, who was beloved of his power, Yahweh, and Yahweh made him king over all Israel. Neither less even him, their outlandish women cause him to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all these great evils, to transgress against our power and marrying strange wives? And the sons of and one of the sons of Jehoiada, the son of Elishabi, the high priest, was son-in-law to Sanballat, the Horonite. And we're about to read, and this is about Sanballat, the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me. 29, remembering them, O my power, because they had defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus cleanse I them from all strangers, and appointed the wards of the priests and the Levites, everyone in his business, for the wood offering at that time appointed, and for the first fruits, remember me, O my power, for good. So we're reading about Sanballat right there in Nehemiah, and we're about to read about him here in the Josephus as well, right? So let me go back into the middle of paragraph 2 and get to, I'll just read it again, okay? But the elders of Jerusalem, being very uneasy about the brother of Jediah, the high priest, though married to a foreigner, should be a partner with him, and the high priest quarreled with him. So these are two priests arguing, right? For they esteemed this man's marriage to a step as should be desirous of transgression about the marriage of strange wives, and that this would be the beginning of a mutual society with foreigners, although the offense of some about marriages and their having married wives that were not of their own country had been an occasion of their former captivity and of the miseries they then went under, right? So this is a situation like they trying to intermingle, create this great melting pot in this kingdom. You see what I'm saying? And they was esteeming one of the Levites, or one of the high priests, for marrying a strange woman, right? So it says, so they commanded Manasseh to divorce his wife, or not to approach the altar. The high priest himself joining with the people in their indignation against his brother, and driving him away from the altar. See that? Right? So they was not feeling this. All right. So they commanded him to divorce or leave your priestly duties. Right? So that also was mentioned in the book of Second Esdras. Or I think it's First Esdras. All right? Or Esdras in the Bible as well. Esdras in the Bible. Right? So you have a lot of people that come to the truth and they say, I got a heathen husband or a heathen spouse, right? You see what I'm saying? And you're awakened to this truth. You know what I'm saying? And you call and ask, what should we do? You need to leave their ass alone. I know you in love. I know you feeling them. You got children with them. Shalom. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're going to come and submit to your authority as a servant. Because that's what the heathens are made to be, our servants. Okay? Right? So let's finish and read. Let's finish, continue reading and see what's going on here. Right? So whereupon Manasseh came to his father-in-law, Sanballat, and that's what we just read in Nehemiah, Sanballat, and told him that although he loved his daughter Nikoso, right, yet was he not willing to be deprived of his sacerdotal dignity or sacred dignity on her account. So this guy, Sanballat, is a damn heathen, right? So whereupon Manasseh came to his father-in-law, Sanballat, and told him that although he loved his daughter, Nikoso, yet was he not willing to be deprived of his sacred duties or dignity on her account, which was the principal dignity in their nation, and always continue in the same family. So nobody outside of the sons of Aaron could sit upon the priesthood. And see, this was going on is because the priesthood is being defiled. Okay? You have heathens that was going to eventually take over our priesthood. Okay? But a lot of truth, I've always been against outside marriage, even before I came into the truth. All praise is going to the Most High, bro. Ain't nothing better than our women, man. Our women is the finest women on the planet Earth. Melanated, you know what I'm saying? Curvy, shapy from head to toe. You know what I'm saying? We might got to deal with a little attitude here in Babylon the Great. But you know what I'm saying? We love our women. All right? All praise and glory to the Most High. Right? So here's this brother Manasseh, right, which is an Aaronite, such as when you read about John the Baptist, father Zacharias in the New Testament, right? Let's go there right quick. Luke 1, right, tells you about this office. Luke 1 and 5. It says, there was in the days of Herod, king of Judea. You see what I'm saying? And this was the Herodian dynasty. These were the Herodians that came down with Edomites that came over, was ruling over Israel, okay, and dictating the priesthood. And this is why Mashiach Yahushua can't come, but we will talk about that a little later, right? As well, that's not the only reason, okay? There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias, as of the course of Abijah, and his wife was of the daughter of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth, and they were both righteous before the Most High, walking in all the commandments and orders of the Most High, shameless. You see that? Okay? So Zachariah was an Aaronite, and Elizabeth was an Aaronite, right? And it says that verse 9, according to the customs of the priest's office, his lot was to burn incense when he went to the temple of Yahweh. So when you go to Leviticus, the 21st chapter, and it speaks about the sons of Aaron, in particular, the sons of Aaron. Leviticus 21, and then you jump down to verse, we read 21 on down, but I want to get straight to the point. They should be holy, boom, boom. It says, I'll read verse 1. And Yahweh spoke unto Moses, speak unto the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say unto them. So I'm going to jump down, verse 7. They should not take a wife that is a whore or profane, neither should they take a woman put away from her husband, for he is holy unto his power. Right? And when you jump down to verse 13, and he should take a wife in her virginity, a widow or a divorced woman or profane or a harlot, these shall he not take, but he should take a virgin of his own people to wife. Of his own people, of his own what? Tribe. Okay? These are laws governing the priesthood, right? And it also mentions in Ezekiel, the 45th chapter, and giving laws concerning the priests there as well. Let me see if I can find it right quick. I was talking about house around there. Let me go over here. It's 45th chapter. And it tells you over here that he could be able to take a woman that's a widow of a foreign that was of a priest. Okay. I can't find it right now, but I gave you two witnesses, three actually. All right. So if I find it later, I'll come back to it and show you the law here in Ezekiel, the 44th chapter as well, how they are commanded to take women of their own tribe. I'm just mad I can't find it right now. And this is a clean Bible. Right here, I think I found it. Right here, 44 and 22. Neither shall they take for their wives a widow, nor her that is put away, but they should take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow that had a priest before. Okay? So there's specific laws that is governing the priesthood, right? So we're gonna go back to Josephus, and we in paragraph 2 in the middle. So I'm gonna read where it says, whereupon Manasseh came to his father-in-law Sanballat and told him that although he loved his daughter Nicaso, yet was he not willing to be deprived of the sacerdotal dignity on her account, which was the principal dignity in their nation, and always continued in the same family, right? So you had to be of the sons of Aaron to be a high priest. And then Sanballat promised him not only to preserve to him the honor of his priesthood, but to procure for him the power and dignity of a high priest, and will make him governor of all the places he himself now ruled. So now we're bargaining chips on the table. You see what I'm saying? For him to continue to have this heathen women as a wife, because this is going to be the beginning of destroying the temple, right? By profaning the temple, by having these heathen marriages and relationships and things of that nature, right? So if he would keep his daughter for his wife, right? So he's going to give him all his power, make him rule, be a governor, all these different things, selling his soul, selling his priesthood for the quabah. Basically, selling his priesthood for the quabah. All right, so let's get back to it. He also told him further that he would build him a temple like that at Jerusalem upon Mount Gerizim, which is the highest of all the mountains that are in Samaria. Okay, where Ephraim dwell that, and where they was keeping their Passovers and feast days, which was off when Israel was split in half into two kingdoms. And he promised that he would do this with the approbation of Darius
the king. So obviously this guy right here have influence, he have power, and so now he's gonna go get permission of Darius the king. So Manasseh was elevated with these promises. Okay, despite what the other priest is saying, despite the law, right? He's going to do this because he's going to sell out the priesthood, and stayed with Sanballat upon a supposal that he should gain a high priesthood, right? So he wanted to be the chief high priest, as bestowed on him by Darius. For it happened that Sanballat was then in years, but there was now a great disturbance among the people of Jerusalem. So Sanballat was old at this time, because many of those priests and Levites were entangled in such matches. So we just read in Nehemiah, and we can read in Esdras about the strange wives that they was already dealing with that, even though it seemed like they was trying to keep abreast of it so they won't pollute the temple. Okay, and Tobit even went in and mentioned about these heathen women, but he also was talking about different tribes as well, right? So if you read, I believe it's Esdras 10, the 10th chapter, it goes into the strange wives and things of that nature as well. All right, I may go back to that a little later. So this is just setting the precedence of what's going to take place later down in the story of how Hanukkah and all these different things came to place. This is the prerequisite, okay, of what was going down before, the 4 generals and Antiochus came into power, right? So he also told him that he would build him a temple like at Jerusalem upon Mount Gezrazini, which is the highest of all the mountains that are in Samaria. And he promised that he would do this with the approbation of Darius the king. Manasseh was elevated with these promises and stayed with Sanballat upon his proposal that he should gain a high priesthood as bestowed on him by Darius. But it happened that Sanballat was then in years, but there was now a great disturbance among the people of Israel, people of Jerusalem, Salakia, because many of those priests and Levites were entangled in such matches. But they all revolted to Manasseh, and Sanballat afforded them money and divided among them land for tillage and habitation also, and all this in order every way to gratify his son-in-law. So these damn coon sellouts, right, that's mentioned, right, about not being able to be accounted in the priesthood because they couldn't prove their lineage and these different things like that, or these men that just want to deal with the heathen women, okay, ran and sided with this heathen to get gifts. It's the same thing that going today. Niggas is selling out for monetary gain. Selling out for money, for riches, for wealth, right? To be a part of our enemy society, man. You see what I'm saying? It's not new under the sun, the Bible tells you. This is what is going on right now. Right. So for the Qurbah. But not just for the Qurbah, because he was going to give up the Qurbah. But he was about to get power. You see what I'm saying? Power, money, and power, right? That's what they say. Power, money, power, women. Right? Qurbah. All that goes together. All right. So we're going to be in paragraph 3 now. Paragraph 3. About this time, it was that Darius heard Alexander had passed over the Hellespont and had beaten his lieutenants in the battle at Grantnicum and was proceeding further, whereupon he gathered together an army of horse and foot and determined that he would meet the Macedonians before they could assault and conquer all Asia. So he passed over the river Euphrates and came over Taurus, the Sicilian mountain, and at Issus of Sicilia, he waited for the enemies as ready there to give him battle. Upon which Sanballat was glad that Darius was come down and told Manasseh that he would suddenly perform his promise to him, and this as soon as ever Darius should come back after he had beaten his enemies. For not he only, but all those that were in Asia also were persuaded that the Macedonians would not so much as come to a battle with the Persians on account of their multitude. See that? So they was powerful. They felt they had the numbers and that they could defeat this young Macedonian, Edomite, Greek. Okay, you see what I'm saying? And puffed up and proud. All right. So when you read the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter and the 8th chapter, is going into the realm, which is the Persian and Mede Empire. Okay. So it is mentioning that Alexander was conquering various people in his army. Right. So I'm just gonna let me see right quick. Let me see. All right. Just want to put this in order. Right. So when you read 7, it's really going to really more of a parable, statement. But I'm just going to read 8, the 8th chapter, right? And 8:1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam, the Elamites, East Indians, was an Arab and East Indian kingdom. All right, I saw in a vision, and I was by the river Eula, and I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. This is the dual kingdom of the Persians, okay, which is Elam and the Arab, Ishmael. Right? And I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. Right? So the Persians took down the Babylonian Empire. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. Right? So you're going to find out that this horn is Alexander the Great. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I have seen standing before the river, and ran onto him in the fury of his power, and I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against it, and smote the ram, and broke his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. And he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. Right? So we're going to find out who are these 4 notable horns as well. This is prophecy. This is going into the kingdom of the Greeks, right? And when you read on down in Daniel's the 20th chapter, the 20th verse is going to give you a reference of what it's talking about. So when you read 18, he says, now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground. But he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation. For at that time appointed the end shall be, the ram which thou sawest, having 2 horns, are the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. We're going to come back to this. And the latter time of their kingdom, okay, matter of fact, 22, now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not this power. So we're going to go back to the Josephus and read about Alexander coming to power, and we're going to see if these prophecies is in tune. Okay? Okay?
So we are at, where I was at, and I'm gonna start back at 3 because I don't know where I stopped at. So about this time, it was that Darius had heard how Alexander had passed over the Hellespont and had beaten his lieutenants in the battle at Granicum, and was proceeding further, whereupon he gathered together an army of horse and foot and determined that he would meet the Macedonians before they should assault and conquer all Asia. So he passed over the river Euphrates and came over Taurus, the Sicilian mountain, and at Issus of Sicilia he waited for the enemy as ready yet to give him the battle. Upon which Sanballat was glad that Darius was come down and told Manasseh that he would suddenly perform his promise to him, and this as soon as ever Darius should come back after he had beaten his enemies, not he only, but all those that were in Asia also were persuaded that the Macedonians would not so much as come to a battle with the Persians on account of their multitude. But the event proved otherwise that they expected, for the king joined battle with the Macedonians and was beaten and lost a great part of his army. His mother also and his wife and children were taken captives, and he fled into Persia. So Darius was finished. Took his moms, took his wife, took his children. See how all the women become spoils and the children become spoils of war? That's war. So when war happened down in this place, America, man, all you independent women that don't need no man, I can do it by myself. When the war comes, you become a spoil of war, a bed wench, and your children become slaves. Understand that? So Alexander came into Syria, took Damascus, and when he obtained Sidon, he besieged Tyre. When he sent all epistles to the Jewish high priest to send him some auxiliaries and to supply his army with provisions, and that what presents he formerly sent to Darius, he would now send to him, and choose the friendship of the Macedonians, and that he should never repent of so doing. Right? So now he done took over, he done conquered Darius, defeated his army, so everything now belongs in his power. So he's telling the high priest of Israel to continue the taxation or whatever that they was giving Darius to Alexander. Now let's see what's going on here. Right? So but the high priest answered the messengers that he had given his oath to Darius not to bear arms against him. And he said that he would not transgress this while Darius was in the land of the living. So he want to have his own, integrity and keep an oath with this heathen, even though Alexander's a heathen, but he's the one that's in power right now. Right? So he said, when he's dead, I'll do it. Well, let's see how it's going to go down. Upon hearing this answer, Alexander was very angry, and though he determined not to leave Tyre, which was just ready to be taken, yet as soon as he had taken it, he threatened that he would make an expedition against the Jewish high priest, against us, Judah, and though he teach all men to whom they must keep their oaths. So when he had with a good deal of pains during the siege taken Tyre and had settled in affairs, they came to the city of Gaza and besieged both the city and him that was governor of the garrison, whose name was Baphomet. All right? So Alexander is heated. Now, when you read back over here, right? In the book of Maccabees, go back here real quick. Maccabees 1, and we read it on Daniel. So you put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Maccabees chapter 1, verse 2, right? Matter of fact, we start with 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, has smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and Medes, that he shall reign in his stead the first over Greece. We just read that in Daniel. We're reading it here and we're reading it here, right? And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet, shook before him. Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. So this is what he's trying to tell the high priest to give tribute. But he would have loyalty to a dead man. But let's see what's going down. We in paragraph 4. Paragraph 4. But Sanballat, though he had gotten a proper opportunity to make his attempt, so he renounced Darius. Right? So here's this other guy, Sanballat, who was all on Darius. Right? Now he he used wisdom because Alexander's in power. So he renounced Darius and taking with him 7,000 of his own subjects, he came to Alexander. Right? So this guy, who you're going to find out this damn Hamite, Sanballat, came with 7,000 men to try to make a league with Alexander. And finding him beginning the siege of Tyre, he said to him that he delivered up to him these men who came out of places under his dominion, and did gladly accept of him for his lord instead of Darius. So this is all politics. You know what I'm saying? Whoever got the crown, you need to get to form in a league, right? So when Alexander had received him kindly, Sanballat thereupon took courage and spoke to him about his present affair. He told him that he had a son-in-law, Manasseh, who was brother to the high priest Jaddua, and that there were many others of his own nation now with him that were desirous to have a temple in the places subject to him, that it would be for the king's advantage to have the strength of the Jews divided into 2 parts. That's when the nation is of one mind and united upon any attempt for innovation to prove troublesome to kings, as had formerly proved to the kings of Assyria. Okay? So you see that. So, right, this is always a war tactic to divide the nation. Right? A kingdom that's divided cannot stand. We heard this statement over and over again. And as we see right now, as we're resurrecting in the spirit of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, we are now being divided again when the house of Judah and the house of Eve is supposed to come together. Right? So, let's continue. Whereupon Alexander gave Sanballat leave so to do, who used the utmost diligence and built the temple, and made Manasseh the priest, and deemed it a great reward that his daughter's children shall have that dignity. All right. So here's an example of an Israelite from the tribe of Levi marrying an heathen. Okay. And they're going to have offspring and children, which they will be Israelites because the father is an Israelite, but still yet, is not full, blood in terms of they're from the same nation. Now, Alexander, when he had taken Gaza, made haste to go up to Jerusalem. And Jaddua, I keep saying his name differently, I notice. The high priest, now this is the high priest in Jerusalem. When he heard that, was in an agony and under terror, as not knowing how he should meet the Macedonian. Let me read this again. Now, Alexander, when he had taken Gaza, made haste to go up to Jerusalem. And Jaddua, the high priest, when he heard that, was in agony and under terror. He was shocked, as not knowing how he should meet the Macedonian, because this man took everybody down. Since the king was displeased at his foregoing disobedience, he therefore ordained
that the people should make supplication and should join with him in offering sacrifices to Yahweh, whom he besought to protect that nation and to deliver them from the perils that were coming upon them. See that? So now you got to run into the Most High now. Shook ones. You see what I'm saying? He's all big and bold just a minute ago. All right. And now he got to run. Got to run to the Most High Yahweh. All right. See that? Talking all that cash. So I been come and sizzle out. Whereupon Yahweh warned him in a dream, which came upon him after he had offered sacrifice, that he should take courage and adorn the city and open the gates, that the rest should appear in white garments, right? But that he and the priests shall meet the king in the habits proper to their order. So Israel was going to wear their white garments, and the priest was going to keep the customs of the priestly attire, without the dread of any ill consequences, which the providence of the Most High Yahweh will prevent. Upon which, when he rose from his sleep, he greatly rejoiced and declared to all the warning he had received from Yahweh, according to which dream he acted entirely, and so waited for the coming of the king. All right. So the Most High answered his prayer. The Most High was rocking with him. Okay. So we're going to see how this thing going to transpire. Paragraph 5. And when he understood that he was not far from the city, he went out in procession with the priest and the multitude of the citizens. So they was playing music. The procession was vulnerable, and a manner of it differed from that of other nations. It reached to a place called Sapa, which name translated into Greek signifies a prospect, for you have thence a prospect both of Jerusalem and of the temple. And when the Phoenicians and the Chaldeans that followed him thought they should have liberty to plunder the city. So now we have these Phoenicians. Now we have these Chaldeans, right? That are not Israelites, first and foremost. Okay? Plunder the city and torment the high priest to death, which the king's displeasure fairly promised them. The very reverse of it happened. So now the Most High is about to set this thing up. They thinking they're going to come and plunder our city, rape our women, enslave our children, kill our men, butcher the priests, right? The Most High is going to totally change the whole vibration, right? Because the Most High says, I'm the one that ruleth in the kingdom of men. Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. So he's the one that creates the chess pieces. He's the one that make things happen. Right? For Alexander, when he saw the multitude at a distance in white garments, while the priest stood clothed with fine linen, that's what the scripture says, and the high priest in purple and scarlet clothing. All right? So when you try to bang on IUIC about the purple, then this is basically biblically written, historically written, a part of our custom, okay? A part of the Levites' custom of attire to wear, okay? Right? So yeah, those of you that want to bang on IUIC for wearing purple and gold or scarlet, you're going off, right? And the high priest in purple and scarlet clothing with his meat tree on his head. So for you to say that we can't cover our head, we wore meat, the priest wore meat trees. And in the center of it is an opening, right? So the priest wore meat trees. So that is a head attire that the Israelites wore. So for the people that sit there and get simple when they see the brothers dressing in meat trees or diadems or fringes, you going off. Having the golden plate whereupon the name of Yahweh was engraved.
So they had a golden plate where the name of the Most High was engraved, right? He approached by himself and adored that name. So this is a heathen, Greek, Macedonian, right? Amalekite, going back to Esau, approaching and admiring the name of the Most High. And first saluted the high priest. So we hear all these different things about Alexander, but we're reading in the Josephus, and we're reading in the book of Daniel, and we're reading the book of Maccabees concerning this guy. All right? Let's see how he's going to interact with Israel. Right? And so it says, the Jews also did all together with one voice salute Alexander, and encompassed him about, whereupon the kings of Syria and the rest were surprised at what Alexander had done, and supposed him disorder in his mind. They say, this thing is crazy. He's walking up on Israel by his dolo. Tell me this man, regardless of your bias, is not a man, a bold man, a vessel of the Most High, man. Because he was prophesying the book of Daniel. Okay? So we understand the situation we in as a nation. This prophecy that all of these nations are ruling over us. You see what I'm saying? All right? And Alexander wasn't treating us, you know what I'm saying, with the Most High, with high regards and respect that you're going to see. Right? And we also was giving and showing homage, you see what I'm saying, to this guy, because he had power. You sit there and you try to go and fight a man that have power over you, you know what I'm saying? The scripture tell you that in the Apocrypha. You see what I'm saying? Don't deal with a man that's more mighty in you. That way you will start doubting death. But now the man can take you out. Right? So they salute Alexander and compass him about, whereupon the kings of Syria and the rest were surprised at what Alexander had done and supposed him disorder in his mind. However, Parmenio alone went up to him and asked him how it came to pass that when all others adored him, now this guy Parmenio alone went up to him and asked him, how can it pass that when all others adored him, he should adore the high priest of the Jews? So now we all, like brothers, banging on Alexander, but thus this historical document that speaking of Alexander the Great, right, is in fact based on these historical records that we're reading right here. He was showing respect to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. Okay? This is what we're reading. You can say what you want to say, but we're reading this document. Whether you want to subscribe to it or not, this is what we're reading. Okay? To whom he replied. Now, this is his reply now. This is the reply of Alexander the Great. All right? This is his reply. And let's see what this Hellenistic man is going to say right now. Okay? So, to whom he replied, I did not adore him, but that Yahweh, it says God, Allah, Yahweh, had honored him with his high priest. Look at that. Look at a heathen that's giving homage to the anointed priest of the Most High. How about that? I remember back in the days, brother, from certain congregation, GMS, somebody ain't no heathen can serve the Most High, which we have laws for the stranger or the heathen. And if any heathen was amongst our nation, they had to keep our law. Like we in America, we got to keep the laws here. If I go to China, I got to keep the laws in China. If I go to Japan, I got to keep the rules and regulations in Japan. Stop acting crazy. I don't have to go into their religious aspect, though. We're not going to do that. For I saw this very person in a dream. And this is very habit when I was at Dios in Macedonia, who when I was concerning with myself how I might obtain the dominion of Asia.
exhorted me to make no delay, but boldly to pass over the sea thither, for that he will conduct my army and will give me the dominion over the Persians. See that? That right there in a nutshell is the book of Daniel, the 8th chapter. You see that? So the Most High gave Alexander a vision. You see that? To do the things that he did, to come into his power, you see what I'm saying, as he did. Right? And what does the book of Job says about visions? You know what I'm saying? You may not know exactly why you are doing what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, you can believe that the Most High is behind it. Okay? See that? Beautiful, beautiful. When I first read this, I'm like, wow. You see what I'm saying? So let me just read this scripture right here concerning visions, right? Job 33, right? And 13, why does thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matters. For Yahweh speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceive it not. Right? So you don't understand, you don't know. And a dream and a vision of the night when deep sleep falleth upon men and slumberings upon the bed. Then he opened the ears of men and sealed up their instructions, that he, Yahweh, may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from men. Right? So Alexander had a vision, right? To be where he's at. Right? So it says again, to whom we reply, I did not ordain him, but that Yahweh hath honored him with his high priest. For I saw this very person in a dream. For I saw this very person in a dream is this very habit. I'm on live right now. You can go to Army Visual Classroom on Facebook. When I was at Dios in Macedonia, who when I was considering with myself how I might obtain the dominion of Asia, exhorted me to make no delay, but boldly to pass over the sea thither, for that he will conduct my army, will give me the dominion over the Persians. Whence it is that, having seen no other in that habit, and now seeing this person in it, and remembering that vision. So the Most High opened him up to remember the vision and the exhortation which I had in my dream. I believe that I bring this army under the divine conduct and shall therewith conquer Darius and destroy the power of the Persians, and that all things will succeed according to what is in my own mind. Speak about the visions. All right? And with he, and the confidence he had in himself. And when he had said this to Parmenio, and have given the high priest his right hand, the priest ran along by him, and he came into the city. And when he went up into the temple, now this is Alexander the Great now, this is what the record's saying. He went up into the priest, and he went up into the temple, and he offered sacrifice to the Most High, according to the high priest's direction, of course, right? According to that's their job, and magnificently treated both the high priest and the priest. To show you there's two different priests. There's a high priest with the sons of Aaron, and the priest which is the sons of Zadok, sons of Moses. And when the book of Daniel was shown him, wherein Daniel declared that one of the Greeks should destroy the empire of the Persians, he supposed that himself was the person intended. See that? See that? History, right? Prophecy, scripture. You see what I'm saying? Everything lining up, everything coming into fruition, right? You see that? And also in the book of Daniel, right, it tells you that we were sold onto the Grecians.
right? Trying to find it right now. And it's kind of dark in here. I'm gonna pull it up over here. So when you read Daniel's, I gotta give me another light. I said that yesterday. Joel, I mean. Where is it? Where art thou? Where are you hiding at? I have to find it. I can't see. I'm gonna have to find it up here, pull it up here. So now we're reading about a historian figure that the Europeans, or whoever's in power, the people that's in power, which is so-called white man, intentionally to remove various records. So as we're coming back to the acknowledgement of who we are, and we start going into these records, you see what I'm saying? All right, then it'd be a roadmap to the truth. You see what I'm saying? Without Joel 3:6, the children also of Judah and the children of Israel was going both of them. He sold unto the Grecians that you might remove them far from their border. All right, so let me continue over here. Okay. And we're still in paragraph 5 in the middle towards the end of that paragraph. Let me go over here and believe and see the according to what is mine, for man given the right priest. Okay. And when he had sacrificed in the temple, he offered sacrifices of the Most High, because the high priest at the bottom of paragraph 5, and he went to the temple to offer sacrifice of Yahweh according to the high priest's direction, and magnified and magnificently treated both the high priest and the priest. And when the book of Daniel was shown him, wherein Daniel declared that one of the Greeks should destroy the empire of the Persians, he supposed that himself was the person intended, and as he was then glad, he dismissed the multitude for the present. But the next day he called them to him and bid them also what favors they pleased of him. Whereupon the high priest desired that they might enjoy the laws, right, in this captivity, in this rulership of a foreign king over Israel, of their forefathers, and might pay no tribute on the 7th year. So they said, we know we have to pay some tribute, but on the 7th year, the year of release, which is according to our law, we don't pay no tribute. So Alexander says he granted all they desired. And when they entered and treated him, that he would permit the Jews in Babylon, right? So he was ruling the whole world, known world at this particular time. Jews in Babylon, those that were still in Babylon the Great, and Media, to enjoy their own laws also. See that? See? So we don't want to hear no excuses that you're in captivity. You can't keep the Most High's law. Law, statute, commandments, man. Right? Yes, our carnal man, our carnal self would say, yeah, man, we ain't got to keep that. Let's turn up and do whatever. But, I know I'm trying. That's all I can do is try. I'm trying. I'm putting in the effort, man. You see the shirt? I'm trying. I hope that you're trying. I hope you're sincere. I hope you love your Yahushua. I hope you love your brothers and sisters. I hope you love your husband and love your wife. I hope you love your sister-in-law, whatever structure you have. I hope you love your children. Because this is my life. I hope this is your life. Right? So even in this time, the people are still fighting to keep the Most High's laws. Everything is about the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments. Right? So he willingly promised to do hereafter that they desired. And this is at the end of paragraph 5, the last sentence. And when he said to the multitude that if any of them would enlist themselves in his army on this condition, that they shall continue under the laws of their forefathers and live according to them, he was willing to take them with him. Many were ready to accompany him in his wars. So now Alexander threw something in there and said, wait a minute. All right, I would do these different things, but now check this out. You need to join my army. Okay? And you can still keep your laws and live amongst us and keep your laws like we do here in America. He was willing to take them with many and were ready to accompany him in his wars. So our people been joining these heathen armies, man. It's nothing new. right? It's nothing new, all right? You see what I'm saying? So that can also, just off of that, somebody can substantiate and say, well, see, that's why Cornelius was part of the Roman army, okay? Whatever angle you go is not a salvational doctrine. Maybe we could do a debate on that too, all right, on War Ready Wednesday, right? So book, paragraph 6, all right? So everybody following along, the few are ready, we good, LOYMOVs, okay? Getting to read about Alexander the Great. Seemed like Alexander the Great wasn't such a bad guy after all to the children of Israel. Based on what we're reading right now, okay? Based on what we're reading right now, it doesn't seem like Alexander the Great was being a wicked demon towards the children of Israel, okay? And some people just don't want to deal with that. That's why I remember back in the days when Bacchanal was banging, when GMS was banging on that Cornelius and this, that, and the third, the Israelites are trying to make that such a big doctrine of Israel. And act like no heathen could serve the Most High or say his name or nothing, okay? This man acknowledged the Most High's name, sacrificed to the Most High, didn't do no harm to the children of Israel. That goes with Psalm 105, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Genesis 12:3, bless them that blesseth thee, curse be them that curseth thee. You see what I'm saying? Like, how the hell do you think nobody, a man that's a creation of the Most High can serve the Most High? Like, that sounds stupid. And the prophets tell you that all nations will serve the Most High. Okay? So, I'm not, first of all, the heathens are going in captivity and slavery. So don't think I'm trying to damn bring out a clean doctrine over here. But I'm just going to keep it a buck. I'm not going to make you say what you, just because your bias is in the scriptures, man. I'm not going to, I can't roll like that. Okay? I got to go by what I see in the spirit of the Most High. And that's just what it is. All right? So now, we're reading this historical information. Okay? You see what I'm saying? And note this. I am not advocating that our sons go into the white man's military, no heathen military. I'm not advocating my sons, your sons, no Hebrew Israelite child to join no heathen army. We join the army of Israel. Okay? That's the army of Israel. Know that. Okay? So let's get back. Soon you join the army of the brotherhood, then it's a problem. Okay? So now, on paragraph 6, so when Alexander had thus settled matters at Jerusalem, he led his army into neighboring cities, and when all the inhabitants of whom he came received them with great kindness. It's the part I love. The Samaritans who had then Shittim for their metropolis, right? Or Shechem for their metropolis, a city situated at Mount Gerizim and inhabited by the apostates of the Jewish nation, right? Seeing that Alexander has so greatly honored the Jews, determined to profess themselves Jews. Don't you see this? This is like the same thing that happened during the time of Esther as well. When the Most High brought judgment in the book of Esther. Let's see if I can go over there right quick. If Malak Judah, if you could get me that scripture on Esther, you know what I'm saying, to show you how these damn heathens, as soon as the Most High show us favor, or look like we're coming back into power, these damn heathens get shook to damn death. And all of a sudden now, they want to cling on to Israel. And you Negroes out there, you love it so. You Negroes in Uganda, you Negroes every damn where trying to make every damn person a dark-skinned Israelite. Some of you trying to make any damn white person an Israelite. Anybody that want to claim they're an Israelite, you see what I'm saying? You accept them. Straight up, man. Sickening, man. Get on my damn nerves, man. Why we can't be set apart and be about ourselves? You gotta damn join everybody into our party.
Everybody's not invited to the party for a 1,000-year reign with the Most High Bashim Mashiach Yahushua, man. The hell out of here, man. Okay, these damn heathens don't give a damn about us, man. Okay? Let me see where it says like in Esther. I think it's Esther 9, it's Esther 8. And the Jews had the light. Where's that scripture? But the Jews were, it was a classic. We used to always bring this out. I'll be slipping around here. The Jews ordained. And I hate when I can't find something, man. I can't stand it. Makes me mad. I'm gonna find it in a second though. Okay? You see this Bible is clean, right? I don't got no markers in it. You know what I'm saying? So let me just become a Googleite now, I guess. Oh man. I gotta become a Googleite. Okay, I think it's there is Esther, the 8th chapter. And in every province and in every city whatsoever the king's commandment and the decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness and a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. So the same thing we're reading over here during the time of Alexander with these goddamn Hamites, right? All of a sudden now they want to cling on, right, to us. All right, these Samaritans that was nothing but implants, and I know a lot of you talk about the Samaritans, right? All of them was not Israelites. That's a damn lie. I don't subscribe to that at all. Period. Okay? You see what I'm saying? I don't. Okay, and I came out of one West. I'm not, everybody's not a damn Israelite, man. Esther's not an Israelite. I'm not running with all that. Everybody's an Israelite, man. I don't run like that. I just don't follow the crowd. Okay? At all. 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, told you put them damn stinking Hamites and these heathens in the land. Period. Okay? We have 2 Kings, the 17th chapter talks about that, man. Or maybe it's 1 Kings, the 17th chapter. Right? I think it's 1 Kings, the 17th chapter. Had these damn heathens in our land. Okay? 1 Kings 17. Oh, 2 Kings, gotta be 2 Kings. 2 Kings 17, yeah. Right? Read 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, right? And you'll read, I believe this is the chapter. If not, I'll get the right chapter later on. Yep, it's this 17th chapter, I believe it is. Trying to find where he put them damn heathens. I can't see over here. So let me just go over here so I can see better here. You know what I mean? And my thing is, like, you start reading the Bible and, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's true. We have to be able to get me, myself, become a little bit more scholarly. You know, brothers is on a lot of scholarship out here these days. You see what I'm saying? And everything is timing and everybody have their gifts. You feel me? I have my gifts, man. I'm saying I really bang the highways and byways, you know what I'm saying, and bang on these heathens and Europeans and make them feel belittled and low like they made us feel. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I love it. You know what I mean? 2 Kings 17 and 23. To the Lord Yahweh remove Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day since that time. And the king of Syria brought men from Babylon and from Kutat and from Ava and from Hamath and from Shephavim and replaced them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. Okay? These damn heathens was in our land. So you can sit right there and say what the hell you want to say. Okay? All right? These damn heathens. Oh, sorry, you about to roll, sis? Don't leave us yet. Okay? So let me go back and finish this. Right? And so, part 6 again. So when Alexander had thus settled matters, if you don't have the link, just look in your link. I have the link for the book
that we're reading, the Josephus, if you don't have it now. Okay? It's right here. Right? Malak Judah leaving? You said Malak Judah bouncing on us? All right, Prince. Okay. Make sure you give me a call, brother. I gotta give you this brother's number. All right, so paragraph 6. So when Alexander had thus settled matters at Jerusalem, he led his army to the neighboring cities. And when all the inhabitants of whom he came to receive with great kindness, the Samaritans, who had then Shechem for their metropolis, a city situated at Mount Gerizim, and inhabited by apostates of the Jewish nation, seeing that Alexander had so greatly honored the Jews, determined to profess themselves Jews. See that? So now we have the Samaritans, these people that was put in our land. Then you had in Esther time, you had the Persians, and you had Arabs, right? Ishmaelites converting, trying to be us. So it's not hard to see that everyone to be like Mike or be like us. We got the flavor. We got all the flavor. We do everything better. We look better. We move better. We walk better. We fight better. We sing better. We do everything better. I mean, and we got Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, eh? And when we got favor, everybody want to be on our team. You see what I'm saying? When we all rule, everybody gonna be out on our side. Okay? That's what the Bible says they should cling onto the house of Jacob, Isaiah 14. Right? You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna stand on my square regardless. Facts. Right? So for such, we in the second sentence, but after the semicolon. So it says, Alexander has so great honor the Jews, determined to profess themselves Jews. But such is the disposition of the Samaritans. See that? This is how they get down. As we have already elsewhere declared. I need to get to that because there's somewhere else I got to read that. I'll go into that. Declared that when the Jews are in adversity, they deny that they are of kin to them. And then they confess the truth. Right? They deny that they are kin to them, and then they confess the truth. See? So the truth is they're not our people. But when they perceive that some good fortune have befallen them, they immediately pretend to have communion with them, saying that they belong to them and derive their genealogy from the prosperity of Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh. See that? Damn heathens. Okay? Everybody want to try to act like they're part of us when it's all good. Okay? Now we uprising, right? Coming back to our power. And now everybody want to be an Israelite. Everybody want to be an Israelite. What's going on, brother? Let's do it. You ready to go again? Okay, I'm doing a class right now, brother. I'm live. So I'm gonna hit you right back. We'll be finished like in 30 minutes. All right. So accordingly, they made their address. So these damn heathens always fronting, just like you have these white people always want to claim Gad, right? So now that we up there, teaching this truth, now you got Esau, Becky, and they want to be a Gad. Get the hell out of here, Esau. Accordingly, they made their address to the king with splendor and showed great alacrity. I don't know if I said it right. And meeting him at a little distance from Jerusalem. And when Alexander had commended them, the Shechemites approached to him, talking with them, the troops that Sanballat had sent him. Okay? So here's these heathens now. And they desired that he would come to their city and do honor to their temple also. So now they want to try to copy our swag. Most I ain't working with you heathens.
like that right now, you feel me? To whom he promised that when he returned, he will come to them. And when they petitioned that he will remit the tribute of the 7th year to them, because they did but so thereon, he asked who they were that made such a petition. Yeah, the Most High is great. He's like, yo, who is you? Who art thou? Who art thou perpetrating the frauds? Right? Trying to perpetrate the fraud. And when they said they were Hebrews, oh my goodness, everybody want to be an Israelite today. Every damn funky goddamn heathen from hell under the pits of a damn pile of shit want to be an Israelite now. Every damn body want to be an Israelite. Any and everybody got to be an Israelite now. Nobody wanted to be an Israelite back when I came in. Right? Nobody wanted to be an Israelite then. Nobody cared about being an Israelite back in the 80s and 90s, early 90s. Not everybody now want to be an Israelite. Everybody want to be an Israelite now. We were scarce. And all of a sudden now, the 90s and 2000 comes in, every damn rat from damn hell want to be a Hebrew Israelite. Y'all niggas is out your damn mind, you damn heathens. And you Negroes that's trying to cut damn, bringing these damn heathens. The hell is wrong with you, man? The hell with the damn heathens, man. They want to cleave onto Jacob, right, man? The hell out of here. You're going to cleave to the cotton fields. That's what the hell you're going to be cleaving to. You're going to be cleaving to a hoe, a rake, a shovel, a damn pitchfork, a damn hammer, making some damn rock, brick, getting some gold for us. That's what the hell you're going to be cleaving to. Damn chains, slave chains on your ass. Okay, let me get back. And when they said that they were Hebrews, but had the name of the Sidonians, who is the damn Sidonians, man? Don't they Hamites or something like that? These damn heathens. Okay? But they got the name, the Sidonians. Look that up right quick. Okay? Everybody want to be you, Israel, but you don't want to be you. That's the fuck, excuse my language. That's the sad thing. Everybody want to be you, and you don't want to be you. You don't want to come back and take on your full culture. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to take pride in it. You still want to live have a Babylonian mindset. You see what I'm saying? And it's sad. Phoenician city, midway between Baptus, Baruch, and Tyre. Small offshore islands made excellent port in ancient times. Sidonian Phoenicians. So them damn Phoenicians and all of them is not damn Israelites. Stop the bullshit. Excuse my French. Living at Shittim, he asked them again whether they were Jews. This is Alexander, our big brother Alexander, the son of Esau, son of Amalek, on down. And when they said they were not Jews, all of a sudden they were switching up. They got shook because Alexander was on their ass. Most of the spirit on them. Okay, you think you're gonna lie and try to act like you are the children of Israel? Huh? You think you're gonna cleave and sneak amongst us? Right? You about to be finished. You know what I'm saying? And it was let me go back where I was at. It was to the Jews that he said, damn, where was that? And when they said that they were Hebrews, but at the name of the Sidonians living at Shittim, he asked them again whether they were Jews, and they said they were not Jews. It was to the Jews, said Alexander, that I granted that privilege. However, when I returned, he said, I wasn't talking loud. This was for Israel. This is for the children of Judah, Benjamin and Levi, and not thou. So he said, however, when I return, and I'm thoroughly informed by you of this matter, I will do what I shall think proper, right? And in this manner, he took leave of the Shittionites. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but hey, it sounds good. The Shitklanites. The Shitklanites, whatever the hell you call them. Right? So he about to say, listen, if I come back, you know what I mean? It's going to be on with you. You know what I'm saying? But they already confessed. Said they were not Jews, playing around, perpetrating. I'm a Jew. We not a Jew. This, that, the third, the whole nine playing. But ordered that the troops of Sanballat should follow him into Egypt, because there he designed to give them lands, which he did a little after in Thebes, when he ordered them to guard that country. So the last paragraph is short, and this is going to the death of Alexander. Now, when Alexander was dead, the government was parted among his successors. So we just read that. We just read that in the Apocrypha, right? Let's get that. All right? Let's read that here. See if it's saying the same thing. All praise and glory to Yahweh Hashem, Mashiach Yahweh Shah, for the little wisdom and understanding. Right? And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them. Matter of fact, so Alexander reigned 12 years, First Maccabees 1:7, and then died. And his servants bare ruled, everyone in his place. Right? And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. Okay? So, who was these four notable men? Huh? Let's get it. You got Ptolemy, right? Let's get it. All right. We had the four generals of Alexander. It was the strongest, which when we asked who should succeed him, Alexander said the strongest, which answered led to his empire being divided. Four of his generals, Cassandra, Ptolemy, Antagonist, and Seleucus, known as the Diochi or successors, which was the Antiochus in them, which was the last of Seleucus dynasty. Okay, they were the ones who's really destroying us as a people. Okay, the Seleucus Empire, Macedonian successor Alexander the Great, the Macedonian generals. All right, and you can read about the history of these generals, right, that ruled various parts of the world that Alexander conquered. Okay, like Ptolemy down in Egypt, Seleucus, the Seleucus dynasty during the time around or the middle Palestine and all that area like that. Okay, so you can look that information up, and I should remember, you know, the different various locations that they ruled. Okay, so you can look these things up on your own. I can also give you a link if you want to look it up, but you know, you ain't got to just deal with Wikipedia. Go to different sources to get more information concerning who these people are. You know what I'm saying? So this is prophecy. This is prophecy, right? So now, let me go back. And so now when Alexander was dead, the government was parted among his successors, but the temple upon Mount Gerizim renamed. And if anyone were accused by those of Jerusalem of having eaten things common, or of having broken the Shabbat, or of any other crime, or the like nature, he fled away to the Shechemites and said that the Shechemites said that he was accused unjustly. You see that? So these damn heathens trying to act like us, we would have our own people who want to be rebellious. And when we start reading, that was what to go against the laws of the Most High during the Maccabean rebellion. Those Uncle Toms and Coons, they ran and dwelt among these damn heathens. Okay, so there's an example of our people, right, being scattered in the four corners of the earth. That we got a remnant over here, and we got Israelites that ran to live amongst heathens, and said that he was accused unjustly. About this time, it was that Judah, the high priest, died, and Onias' son took the high priesthood. This was the state of the affairs of the people of Jerusalem at this time. Okay, so now I wanted to read some brief history leading up to the stories when we start reading in the book of Maccabees. How did Alexander came into play in the picture in the Bible? Okay, those of you that read the history of Alexander the Great, hallelujah. You see what I'm saying? So now we see a better picture of the character of Alexander the Great when it came to the children of Israel. Okay, that it was not Alexander himself that oppressed us. You see what I'm saying? It was Antiochus. And when you read and go into Daniel's, it tells you about that wicked seed that came out of that. Right? Where we at? We're Daniel's. Okay, we're Daniel's. Daniel's 8. Daniel's 8. When you go down to 8:20, back to 21, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, which is Alexander, the great horn. That's why it's called Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great, that is between his eyes, is the first king. Now that being broken, he died with 4 stood up for him, the 4 generals, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power, because Alexander was gone. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand, which was Antiochus. Okay, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully and shall prosper and practice and shall destroy the mighty and holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken with fire. So it's going to duality, prophecy. But Antiochus, okay, was that wicked root that was going to come out, okay, after out of the 4 generals. You see what I'm saying? That wicked root that the Bible is talking about, man. You see what I'm saying? So when we read these scriptures, right, and we start understanding, like, why do we go automatically in the book? Why we leave from Babylon to Persia and Mede straight to Rome? How did we get to Rome during Yahushua's birth? You see what I'm saying? There's a whole 450, 500 year period before Rome. You see what I'm saying? Right? All that history, all the Hellenistic history, the Greek Empire is missing out the Bible. Okay? So this is how we get to fill in the blanks, so we can get to understand why during the Roman Empire, Roman times, we had a lot of people that was considered the Gentile scriptures, which was really Israelites that were scattered during the Babylonian the Syrian captivity, with sprinkles of them. Then you have the Babylon, talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because they was the one that was together. Babylon, Persia, and Mede, the Greek Hellenistic period, and during the Roman Empire. Okay? Where our people was forced to denounce their culture. So we're going to read one chapter, because I got to read this. Gotta have the Apocrypha, or you lose so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so much understanding, so much history. It's ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. All right? So we're gonna read the first chapter. I gotta go pick up my Banach. I'm gonna try to read, and then I'm gonna come back during the course of the week, and we're gonna read these stories going all the way up to Hanukkah, okay? And what happened with the temple and all that. So the first book of Maccabees, I'll probably be dead tired, but I'm gonna do it. And first Maccabees 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. Right? We just read that in Daniel. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. And slew the kings of the earth. And went through to the ends of the earth. So right there, even that statement says the ends of the earth. Alexander was not over here in the Western Hemisphere, neither was he in South America, Central America, or Canada. Okay? So understand that because it says you scattered all over the earth, or you conquered the whole earth, doesn't mean
the whole planet. Okay, and so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. We just read about these guys. So Alexander reigned 12 years. He had the Most High let him reign 12 years off the number of the 12 tribes of Israel and didn't die. And his servants bare ruled every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did his sons after them many years. So the people that have been ruling in Egypt for Ptolemy, those was Europeans, those Greek children that was ruling even up to today. Okay, a lot of these different countries where these generals is ruling, and it's letting you know that the people that's in rulership was Edomites. Okay, right? So, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves and their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So when the European, as known as the Greeks, which were supposed to discover civilization, whatever the hell we're talking about, right? The Bible tells you that the evils were multiplied in the earth. 9 plus 9 is 18. 9 times 9 is 81. Multiplied in the earth. So Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right? Who's ruling the earth? Who was ruling the earth at this time? Alexander the Greek and his 4 generals, Europeans, Rome. Now we're in the Greco-Roman Empire. The white man have dominion over the planet, the whole planet Earth, from the United States of America, which is military power, which England is the financial district, and Rome, the Vatican, is the religious center of the world. Okay, the so-called white man is ruling everything. Everything. Okay, and it says in verse 10, and there came out of them a root, Antiochus, right, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Okay, so what nationality, what complexion, or how do the Greeks look? White. They're Edomites. Stop it. Okay? You Negroes trying to save the damn white man because you love the white man in the spirit of Jeremiah 2:14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Right? First Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, like a lot of people be persuading now, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathens, right? Let's make some covenants and agreements, sign some paperwork. Let's go make covenants with the court systems and become citizens and all this stuff like that. So we understand our brothers and sisters that want to fight against the system. You see what I'm saying? But we're not making these covenants with these heathens, okay? That are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. You see that? You see how when our people did not intermingle with them, they want to still talk about they have much sorrow because they want to mingle with the nations. Man, our people off as hell, man. That's why you love this Babylonian mindset. It's good for you. It makes you feel good. It's tasty. It's loving. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so for it herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathens. So now they receive licenses to do and practice the things of the heathens, like you Negroes doing today. You're following the customs of the heathens by keeping Christmas. Because Hanukkah and so-called Christmas is in the same season, okay? And a lot of things are adopted from even Hanukkah itself, right? So you want to follow the heathens and do what the heathens say.
jingle bells, fa la 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 la, deck the hall, snowman, right? Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathens. Okay? So we have a place where you have a gymnasium, you have people working out, looking like the Incredible Hulk or whatever the case is. Right? And this is the understanding that brothers bring forth. And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant. See what our people did? They said, we ain't going to deal with the laws no more. Forget about the laws. Forget about the laws, statute, commandments. Right? Same thing today is nothing new. Right? And joined themselves to the heathens and were sold to do mischief. See that? So this world, this United States of America, you could do all kinds of mischief. You could be a lesbian, you could be a homosexual, you could be a trisexual, bisexual, you could be a cross-dresser, you could be a trainee, you could be a prostitute or a gigolo or a damn pimp. You could be damn sleeping with dogs and cats and frogs. You see what I'm saying? You could damn worship the devil. You could be a vampire. You could be a werewolf, right? You can drink blood. You can do anything evil and wicked in this country. You can murder. You can rape. You can do everything here. All right. Verse 16. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude of chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy. So we had navy. Solomon had a navy and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. So he took over Ptolemy's reign or lands. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. So you had Greeks, white people ruling in Egypt, and you have these damn Negroes always trying to big up Egypt. Always bigging up Egypt. When a white man go down and conquer Egypt, you see what I'm saying? You wonder why they knock the noses off the Sphinx and they give their rendition of the Egyptian history, man. And you acting like you just deep on it and like you trying to mix Egyptology with Israelite culture. Hell no. White men are ruling and controlling Egypt for years, for centuries. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again into the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. So now we were supposed to be at peace, but now he's coming to wage war on us. And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar. So pay attention. Matter of fact, I missed something. Remember, 20. I'll come back to that. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year, and went against Israel and Jerusalem for great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick, which is the menorah, candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the shewbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, and which he pulled off. He took also the silver and gold and the precious vessels, right? Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found. We had hidden treasures. Even though we was, around a bunch of heathens, right? You see what I'm saying? The Most High gave us favor during the Persian and Medes Empire that we was able to build the temple, right? You see what I'm saying? We established the temple, right? And when he had taken all away, he went to his own land, having a great massacre and spoken very proudly, rape, rob, and murder. These Greeks is no different from the Romans, no different from the European white man. That's them, that's Esau, that's them. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were. So when the Esau turned back up on our people, man, y'all gonna know what brothers were bringing out all this time is real. Keep playing around. So that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins, the women, the young women, the virgins, and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed.
right? So you wasn't looking good. You wasn't looking all getting your nails done, feet done, smelling good, clothes clean, nice. You wasn't chilling. The vintage was gone. And that's what's going to happen in this system in America. I pray the Most High bring His judgment on this place soon, man. Sick and tired of this damn place. I'm sick and tired of people not respecting the men and the prophets of the Most High. Okay? Yeah, we're men. Okay? And the Most High gonna work a great work in these days for all those that oppose the prophets of the Most High, man. The black man is waking up to knowing he is a Hebrew Israelite. He's a chosen vessel of the Most High. And we're gonna stand firm and give our life for this truth. Period. What else you got to live for? And who won the NFL championship or the NBA championship? Huh? What you got to live for? You worked a slave for the white man forever, got a damn pension plan, died 5 years later. Oh, yeah, you had a great life. You drove some nice cars, got some nice clothes. Huh? That ain't no damn life, man. We're supposed to be ruling and empowered, and our children in order, and our women in order, and these heathens in order. That's what the hell I want. Verse 25. Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness, because ain't no man was there. They was killing the men. There's no happy time, there's no romance, holding hands. The land was also moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the 145th year, I believe, expired, the king sent his chief collector of the tribute unto the cities of Judea, and came in unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. So they were taxing us during the Greek Empire, taxing us during the Roman Empire, taxing us in the American Babylon the Great Empire. There's nothing new under the sun. The same European, the same devil. And spoke peaceable words. And spoke peaceable words. And spoke peaceable words. And that's why you niggas are brainwashed. You love to hear peace. Peace, 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 peace. The Bible says there's no peace unto the wicked. Never trust thy enemy. Rock 12. And spoke peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. That's why Sirach tell you, never trust your enemy, man. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. But you want to damn love the heathens. You want to have the heathens in your congregation. But you want to talk against your own people. But you love the heathens. Oh, I tell you. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took the women and children took they captive. What do you think they were doing with the women? Huh? You don't need no man. What do you think they were doing with the women? Corbats raping. Slaving our children. He probably was raping the children. Because you know the Greeks is homos. Then built they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers made it a stronghold for them. So now they built up the city of David with more, and made that their city. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. See that? And they brought more heathens into our cities, man. They stored it up also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers. It became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. So a lot of our people was fleeing Jerusalem during this particular time. So our people was being scattered even from there into these different parts of Asia and Europe and the Middle East. Okay? So when you go into Acts, the 2nd chapter, you start reading about these Jews, devout men out of every nation. Some was going down into Egypt because it's south of Israel. And so much the inhabitants of 138, first Maccabees, and so much that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, devils. It became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning. Right? So our major feast 3 times a year was mourning. Her Shabbats into reproach. Her honor into contempt. Right? It's like now our Shabbat is not even a Shabbat. Everybody partying and doing what they want to do in the Mosai Shabbat day. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellence was turned into mourning. Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all shall be one people. Same concept of America. We all American. The great melting pot. There's nothing new with this damn devil, man. The same spirit. That's why you all gonna keep Christmas coming up. You all gonna keep New Year's coming up. You all kept Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Verse 41, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should leave his laws. But we got to follow the laws of the land. We got to be converted to follow the laws of the land. 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 Right? Laws that go against the Most High. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Shabbat. And this is what you Negroes do today. You don't keep the Mosai Shabbat day, Friday night, Saturday night. You go to Sunday. You keep it all, their damn pagan days, their religion, baptism, Christian, Catholicism, all this madness you're doing. Right? Because you hate the Most High. You're scared to stand up for the Most High. And when brothers and sisters awaken to this truth and we stand up, you try to damn seduce us back into that damn coma that you are in. Verse 44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. You talking about follow the laws of the land. They got laws here you can screw dogs. Must be out your damn mind. We got to follow the laws of the land, Israelites. I did a class on you damn knucklehead, brain dead people. Follow the laws of the land. You got your damn mind. Homosexuality is legal now. Now what? Hypocrite. Oh, you can't have more than one wife. Follow the laws of the land. I don't got to go make a covenant with the damn court system. I stay single under their single doctrine. You can have as many women or many men as you want. It's really a polygamous system. And now what? Until you go get their monogamous contract. Now what, Negro? 44, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, that they should profane the Shabbats and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised. So don't circumcise our males, which is a covenant given to the Most gave from the Most out of Abraham, and to all his descendants, all of us, and even the heathens amongst us. So then you got uncircumcised Hebrews during the time of Paul and Rome, that these men was coming to the truth and they wasn't circumcised because they was amongst and dealing in the customs of the heathens. They was Israelites. And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Right? To the end, verse 49, that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. You see that? You want to know why we destroyed? It's right here. Right here. It's not different. It's right here. There's nothing new under the sun. It's the same, this is Esau. The same man. The same man. Yes, we back and forth in captivity over and over and over again. We're suffering as a people. We're catching hell as a people, as men. This is a sad damn time to live in, man. When you start thinking about the honor and glory that we had as people, as the sons and daughters of the Most High. And now we are belittled, man. We are a piece of shit. Even in our own household, you're not honored. This is life, really? This is glory, this is honor. This is captivity in hell, man. Real talk. Verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. And that's why a lot of you are afraid to stand up. You're afraid. You're scared to put your life on the line. You're afraid for your boss might see you on the highways and byways. You're scared to put on your customs, your fringes, your borders of blue. Because you want to damn still fit into this Babylonian society. Trying to merge. You love America. You love Babylon the Great. You love this system. You hate Yahweh. You hate the Most High. And the Most High hate you. I love them that love me. Okay? The hell with this damn place, man. Sickening, man. For us to awaken to this knowledge, and we was looking for who we were all this time, and then we awaken to the truth, and then we still get shit removed. We still get disrespected. We're supposed to be the damn the kings and queens on this planet Earth, man. All women supposed to be the queens raising kings. We're supposed to be in rulership and power. Our women should have to get up and do a damn thing but have servants. We should be damn crying about paying a bill. Working for ink to faint, man, thinking that's what life is about. You think this is rulership? You think this is power? You think this is glory? This is hell, man. Facts. Especially for a black man. And I'm trying to say nothing for my sisters, because our men is wicked as hell. We all wicked. The whole head. This is history. First Maccabees 1:51. How many of you willing to die for this truth? How many of you ready to risk everything for it? put your name, get your name plastered on CIA, FBI files and websites that's dedicated to black militant organizations and groups, man. You think you're not labeled? You think they're not seeing what you're doing on Facebook? In the self-same manner, rode he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people. There's our police force right there. Overseers. Your police force. Same thing, nothing new. Commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Nothing new, man. Then many other people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, so that they committed evils in the land. You people out there, now I'm going to tell you who these people are, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even whatsoever they could flee for succor. So those people that were trying to stand for the law had to flee. A lot of you people, man, you come in this truth, man, and because you go through some oppression or you go through some trials and tribulation, you flee. You flee. You go back to the old man or old woman. You forsake the Bible. You forsake the law. You forsake Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You make vows and commitments to stand upon the Most High law, statutes, commandments, His word, His testimony. You call out His name, Yahweh Yahweh Shai. As soon trials and tribulations come, you by and by you are offended. Your judgment is worse. You are condemned. You women that leaving your husbands, men of the Most High, you're going to be condemned. You brothers and sisters that hate your people, you're going to be condemned. Thus said the Most High. Then many other people, verse 52, then many other people were gathered unto them to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites to secret places, even whatsoever they could flee for succor. Now the 15th day of the month Caslu, right? It's the 15th day of the month Caslu, and the month Caslu is what it's supposed to be the 9th month. I'm looking over there. Let me look over here. Okay, let's get that right quick. Right. I know some people may feel getting their feelings and all now, but you know what? Good. The scripture says in Wisdom of Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely oppression make a wise man mad. So the opposite of a wise man is a fool. You ain't mad, you happy. You glad to be in Babylon the Great. You love it. And your ending will be everlasting shame, man. That's a fact. That's what the Most High says. Okay? And I pray that the Most High find me worthy, forgive me for my iniquities and my sins that I've committed. I am no better as an individual than nobody, but I'm trying. And yes, I could do better. I could be better. But the Most High called me and chose me, even how wretched I am, just as Paul said, oh, wretched man I am. We Caslu is the 9th month, man, so let me go stress it right now, okay? Because September is the 7th month, right? We're taught that September is the 9th month, but Sep is 7. October is 8. November is 9. Okay? And December is 10. It's either 10 or 9. Okay? If anybody got that for me, just bring it up for me right now. I don't know why I can't find it in the Bible dictionary. Okay? All right? In the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar. So when you're reading in the book of Daniel about certain thing about the abomination of desolation, this is one of the events that happened at this particular time, and also during 70 AD. Okay? And built idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. Just as we have all these altars and idols today. All these altars and idols we have today is nothing different. You about to go worship a fat man by the name of St. Nicholas, Santa Claus. That's a damn idol. It's a damn lie. And you Hebrews that's in the truth, and you letting your children go to your grandmother's house or your mother's house on the low to go collect their damn Christmas gifts, you going to hell off. Okay? Period. See what I'm saying? And a lot of us brothers, we can't, especially when the mother have power over the children, we can't do a damn thing about it. You sneak them over there to damn get Christmas. You see what I'm saying? The Most High see you. They see you. We don't gotta see you, but the Most High see you. The angels see you. We got idols all over the damn place. Your months is idolatry. The days of the week is full of idolatry. Just look at the days of the week. (154) on the 15th day for the month of Caslu in the 145th year. Okay? They set up the abomination of desolation. Read all this in Daniel. Upon the altar, built idol altars throughout the cities, right, of Judea on every side. Okay? Yeah, the 9th month, right? Caslu is the 9th month. All right? So, 55, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. 56, and when they have rent in pieces the books, of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. See that? They wanted to keep these laws, statutes, commandments, man. This is the white man's book. Right? That's a way of written the Bible. It's the white man's book. It's not real. What is real laws and statutes, commandments in here, principles in here that tell you how to be righteous and good? Why it can't be real? Because you want to be evil. You want to be wicked. You want to hate the Most High. You hate the truth. You love America. You love Babylon the Great. You're going to get your judgment. I could be doing anything besides sitting up here reading this Bible, right? Talking to you. Trying to deliver your soul, trying to give you some knowledge and understanding. I'm a man in the flesh too. I get tired at times. But you know what? This keeps us zealous. This keeps me alive, regardless if I got a piss to piss in, or a pot to throw out the damn water, no clothes on my back, nothing. But I got this. I done lost a whole lot in my life. Children, wife, name, the fame, every damn thing. But I'm going to fight to the end because I have no choice. I'm a prisoner. Ephesians 4:1. That's it. Let's see how many of y'all be around 20-something years still saying Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. It's all cool, group of lights. Verse 55, 57. And whosoever was found with any book of the Testament, as we read Isaiah 8:20, to the Lord, to the Testament, to the Lord, to the Testament, testimony, if they speak not according to this word, there's no truth, no light in them. And whosoever was found with the book of the Testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put him to death. Did they not? The white man did that here in the United States of America when we was in hardcore bondage. Yes or no?
Yes, there's nothing new under the sun. We are the children of Israel. And the hell with some Uncle Tom, stretching, fetcheth, fake-a-like, pretend-a-like, mad, angry nigger, or spick-a-like from hell got any damn thing to say. We know we are the children of the Most High. And any one of you oppose that, you're the children of the devil. Facts, like my sister Star said. Facts, you're the damn devil. We know who we are. 58. First Maccabees 1:58. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month. They was killing our people every month. Like we being killed every day here. In this system, a black man, Hispanic man, they get murdered and shot and killed. You ain't alive till you know you ain't alive. You're not alive. We're not alive. Because you know what? We don't see death tomorrow. We're not alive. You only alive when death is sitting right in your damn face. That's when you appreciate life. I don't pray no illness on nobody. I don't pray no illness on me. But the brothers and sisters that may got some damn illnesses that can take them out, they appreciate every day. They appreciate every second. They appreciate every minute. They're going to fight to live. In this society, we're not fighting to live. We're fighting to die because we love this damn evil-ass, wicked-ass society. You niggas just want to smoke weed and get high all day and play the damn game all day. And I want to read the Bible. I play the game. I sip some wine. I'm a revolutionary to the core. Period. And I will never change. By some Mashiach Yahweh, never. We want war. That's what we want in the streets of America. We praising and asking Yahweh to bring forth the prophecy so Israel can wake the hell up, and you ain't going to wake up until there's death and destruction and blood dripping through the streets of America. Every damn thing is a damn game and an attitude for BS. Pray that it get real. Because other people around the world, it's real to them. Verse 57, 58. Thus did they by their authority, the authorities, the police department, or to the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. So if you were standing by the law, statute, commandments back then, oh, you was going to be put out. So when we stand by these laws, statutes today, we are called a hate group. We are called a militant society. We call it a cult. We call it crazy. You're crazy. Toward 59. Now the 5th and 20th day of the month. The 25th day of the month. Ring a bell. Did they sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High? At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. They're the same thing that was going down in Egypt when our righteous women stood up for their men, the men child, that they was given commandments to kill the child, right? Because the Egyptians feared the men. In every captivity in Rome, they was killing who? They was killing the men. They're not killing you, women. You had a couple of Sandra Bland and people, they're killing our men. Because the men are the threat. The men are the ones that go to war. They're the ones that fight. You are a bad wench.
The men are the leaders of the nation. Not you damn Jezebel women out there. You're going to be put to death. Be warned. Be glad that we are not instituting the damn judgment right now. Because a lot of people will be gone. And not saying that I'm not worthy to be gone. But when we get control of this nation, when we get back into power, and when this damn world, this country shake the hell up, it's going to be a total different day. At that time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that caused their children to be circumcised. So we had righteous women, women that stand firm to their nation, to their men, and would rather die than not to circumcise their male child, man. Huh? Women, females, supposed to be vicious when it comes to their offspring. A female lion not playing with theirs. Women, females don't play with theirs. But you women have compromised in this country. You want to raise your child to compromise with the enemy, to go into the enemy's military, his military forces, to uphold his empire, to bow down and look down upon the ground. Yes, a boss. Yes, a master. Yes, law. You don't want your man, your black man, your husband, your son to be a man in this captivity because you love it. But these women, they put their life on the line, man. This is the history they don't want to tell you. This is what they don't want you to know. 61, and they hanged the infants about their necks. They was doing this back then. They hung the disciples. They hung us. The Bible said, cursed be he that hangeth upon a tree. So our babies being hung by the necks, man, by these Greek, European, white people. That's no different than the damn Romans that put your ass on crucifixes and hung you there. The same white man that's hanging and killing and butchering you now. But you love your oppressors, man. You love your oppressors. Howbeit many in Israel fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Right? So many of the Israelites were fully resolved and confirmed in their spirit not to eat and go against the dietary menu that the Most High gave us. Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14. You holy roly Christian, damn faker-like, not even no faker-like, you Christians that's perpetrating a fraud and eating all kind of abominable foods on your damn feast days, your pagan Thanksgiving, and your damn up-and-coming damn Christmas dinner. Nothing but damn swine and abominations that you're going to be eating and thinking the Most High love you and care about your wicked damn sacrifices. But we had people in this time, and we had a woman at this time that saw 7 of her sons die in one day, back to back, terribly. We're going to read about that later on in the week. Wherefore, the rather to die, that they may not be defiled with meats, and that they may not profane the holy covenant, so then they died. So we had men and women of Israel that were circumcised the children, which is the law, was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they would kill our children and hang them by their necks. They was killing our men in the streets. And our people that refused to eat abominable foods was put to death. 64. And it was a very great wrath upon Israel. And if you ain't mad about the history of your people, then you're not an Israelite in spirit at all. Even if you're physically an Israelite, you're not an Israelite. You're not our people. You're a damn coon. You're a coon.
You don't love your people, man. You love America. You love Babylon the Great. You're not willing to put your life on the line for this truth. You think we're not putting our life on the line when brothers go out there in them hours and bowers, you're not a target? You think not? You think we're not a target out here on this YouTube live thing and all that? You think they're not watching? What kind of fool won't watch? This Hebrew Israelite movement have grown vastly. And then there's no respect and honor and reverence for the men that paid the wage, man. Whether they made mistakes or whatever. Who don't make mistakes? Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. So the next chapter is 1 Maccabees 2. I'm not at 70 verses. I'm not going to be able to read all of that right now because I have to go pick up my baby. What I would do though, I will read. I got 12, 15 more minutes. I got to get 30, 45 minutes. I'm going to read as much for that I got to make a move. 1 Maccabees, the 2nd chapter. Let's see what else is going on here. In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon. Right? Let me put this thing up a little bit. A priest of the sons of Jored from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons: Jeconiah, called Cadius, Simon, called Thascius, Judas, which was called Maccabees, Eleazar, called Avaron, and Jonathan, who was surname was Apicus. And when he saw the blasphemers, they were committed in Judah and Jerusalem. Why? Because they were raised up in this Greek empire, so they had heathen names. Like y'all see my heathen name on Facebook. But through the Most High Spirit and prophecy, Isaiah 44, we would surname ourselves. So it's Ma'ara called Bunya Bunya Sha'ala. That means quick spirit, ready spirit, son of Judah, son of Yahweh. Ma'ara called Bunya, son of Israel. He said, woe is me. No, I'm sorry. Verse 6. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people? See that? Concern about the things that's happening to our people. Where's your concern? Huh? We got all these fighters, MMA fighters, like Wilder, whatever his name is, boxing yesterday. All these damn great fighters and athletes and supermen and weightlifters. Where are you? Where are you in the war? Where's the mighty men at? That's in this war, this spiritual warfare we're bringing. Where are you? Where's the rich? Where's your rappers? Where's your actors? Where's your businessmen? They love America. He said, woe is me where if I was born, and I feel the same way. I thought, why? Why have I been born in this system? Why I gotta be called a nigger? Why I gotta be called spick and wet back? Why I gotta be born in the ghettos and stuff? Why I gotta have a father and mother? Why my men, why I gotta be part of a nation they deprive, and they put down, they beat down, they stomp down, and they hate, and they mistreat us, and they give us bad food and drugs and alcohol, and give us bad housing and living and medicine and every damn thing these people do to our people, man. And you sitting up here and don't give a damn. You don't give a damn. So you don't care about your people. You love to be oppressed. And you hate the Most High, you hate Yahweh Shai, and you hate your people. But all of us gonna go to the judgment. Believe it. Verse 7. He
said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see the miseries of my people and of the holy city and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy and the sanctuary into the hand of the strangers. Her temple is become as a man without glory. We black men, you don't have no glory, man. A lot of us only got glory in our own home. Your glory is temporary. You make it a glory for 2 days and then Satan come and hell come. There's no glory for us in this kingdom, man. So there's no power for you here. The Bible says the saints shall take the kingdom. We are resurrecting the Most High Yahweh by sending ourselves, resurrecting a great and exceeding army. We have to take the kingdom because that damn thing will be given to you, man. So first we got to take back the minds of our men and our women and our children, man, and bring them back into the submission of this body. This is the only way for our people. Verse 9, her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain. All our babies killed in these goddamn parenthood, these damn centers where they damn abort hundreds of thousands of children. Our infants are slain in the streets. Our young men with the sword of the enemy. How many of our men are getting killed throughout the streets of America? The same thing that was happening to the Israelites during the Greek Empire, during the Roman Empire, during the Egyptian Empire. During the Persian Empire, the same thing. What nation, the Bible says, have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? All these heathens raped, robbed, murdered, and stole from the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, which is you so-called Negroes, Western and Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Dominicans, Cuban, you people, you so-called minorities in captivity, in exile, in the United States of America, in particularly here. Because this is Babylon the Great, Micah 4:10. Or read Daniel the 9th chapter that'll link up with that. All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she has become a bond slave. We are a slave in America. You think you're free? Because you got a chain on your damn wrist or on your ankle or around your neck. You got it here in your damn brain. That's the worst slave, a mental slave. You don't even know you're a damn slave. You think you're free. Trying to get out the country without a passport. 12, and behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory is laid waste. And the Gentiles, the heathens, have profaned it. You want to love the Gentiles. The hell with the damn Gentiles. They ass going in chains. So what end thereof shall we live any longer? So I feel like what are we living for? To be stressed every other day? Right? To be disrespected? Were we trying? We trying to keep the laws of God, the laws of the Most High, the honor of Mashiach Yahweh, who you call Jesus Christ? Who gonna stand up? Which one are you gonna stand up? We're not looking for many, we're looking for a few, the red. Ain't about numbers, man. It's about those 1 or 2 or 3 men that can take 1,000 down by itself. That's the power we're looking for. That's what we're looking to get back to. To be the kings and the warriors and the governors and the princes on this planet Earth. Verse 14, 2 Maccabees 2:14. Then Matthias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn very sore. In the meanwhile, when the king's officers, the police force, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Modin to make them sacrifice. And when many of Israel came unto them to sacrifice, Matthias also and his sons came together to see what the hell is going on. Then answered the king's officers and said to Matthias, on this wise, because this was a great man. Watch, we're going to read. Thou art a ruler. Thou art a ruler and an honorable man, and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now therefore, this is the devil. Now therefore, come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment. Obey the laws of the land, Negroes. Let's see if this brother did that. Now therefore, come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done. So if you Negroes out there, you Israelites, have followed the heathen customs, you are damn heathen. And the men of Judah also, because Matthias and it was Levites. So now therefore, 18, come thou first to fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathens have done, yea, and the men of Judah also. So Judah was going off. And such as remain at Jerusalem, so shall thou in thy house be in the number of thy king's friends. So these was Levites, Aaronites that were still holding. And thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. See that? See how the damn devil come, like he came to Yahushua and tempted him and said, I'll give you all the kingdom of the earth. Except you just bow down and serve me. A lot of you brothers in this truth have bowed down and served to the white man. You have compromised the word of the Most High for comfort in this damn system, man. You know what you did, and you know who you are. Verse 19. Then Matthias answered and spoke with a loud voice, like a man, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments. Now this is somebody I want to look up to. This is somebody I want to look up to. Okay? Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. Huh? So Matthias and his sons, they was the one that was standing up. Don't sound like a lot of people. Don't sound like a whole lot of people we just read. 21. Yahweh forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's word to go from our religion either on the right hand or the left. See that? They compromising to keep their damn religions and their feast days, their customs. Some of you Hebrews, you still following these customs on the law. Verse 23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews. Here comes this Uncle Tom Negro, black man in the sight of all to sacrifice on an altar which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. Which thing when Matthias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to the judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew upon the altar, killed the man, and also the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt he zealously
for the law of Yahweh, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri, the son of Salom. And Matthias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the Lord and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. All praise to God, to the Most High, B'Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. I'm going to leave it right there to continue the rest tomorrow. And ironically, I just did a class yesterday about follow me. Follow me. Right? Follow me. Follow Yahushua. Follow these laws, statutes, commandments, man. Stand firm in your convictions, man. I'm a Hebrew Israelite for life. That's it. To death. All praise and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Thank you, brothers and sisters, those of you that is sincere and looking to learn and listen and want to be inspired, okay? To get that rejuvenation, man, in your fight and your warfare. Stand firm, man. Stand firm. Most are dealing with a few. You don't care about no numbers, man. Let me read that scripture right here, right quick. You think we care about numbers, man? I know I don't give a damn about numbers. What I care about is how many people that I can touch through the Spirit of the Most High with His wisdom. That's it. I don't need a damn large congregation, nothing. Nothing at all. Let's get this right. I'm going to close out with this script. I'm going to go pick up my baby girl, my little princess that's caught up in the system. And we ain't afraid. Even going through that, I got to do the work of the Most High. Now what? Scary squirrels. Scary squirrels. Where's the scripture at, man? I can't even find it right now. It's so dark and they're gonna give me a light. Okay? Well, I'm gonna bring that scripture out. It's about the world to come is for a few here, but a few already. Right? Close out with this. 2 Esdras 8:1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High had made the world for many, but the world to come for few. I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthy vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. Army of Israel, E37, in the valley, the few, the ready. One love, one nation, one king. Enjoy your Hanukkah night. I'll be back to bring more information about Hanukkah. And this is all leading up into the commemoration and the memorial and celebration of why we keep Hanukkah. It's a memorial and a testament and the deliverance of our Father Yahweh B'Hashem Mashiach Yahushua and the valiant men and women that stood up for the law of the Most High and was willing to die and lost their life to keep this book, to keep these laws, to keep these statutes, to keep these testaments and these commandments. So all praise and glory to every brother and every sister out here that's sincere in their heart, in the spirit, and the truth, and standing firm through every opposition that comes in your life by anybody, whether it's your friends, family, loved ones, children, wives, husbands, anybody. You never quit on a Mashiach Yahushua, and you never quit on your brothers. You never quit on your sisters. With that, I say shalom. Most I bless. I'm out of here. Hallelujah. We got next. AOI.